Very good morning everyone. Welcome back to the another session of our subject, that is computer organization and architecture. In the previous two lectures we have completed 3 questions. The first question is about the explanation of major components of CPU. Then we have discussed block diagram of arithmetic and logical unit, and we have discussed the general register organization. Part of it, there is a control word and accumulator register. In our today's session, I will explain 2 questions. The first question is stack organization and the second question is interrupts. So let us begin with our today's session. The first topic of our today's session is stack organization or memory stack. As I have told you that stack is a part of data structure only, so that theory you can write over here. Stack is nothing but it follows LIFO method. LIFO means last in first out. The thing which is added at a last will be taken out first. So whenever there is a use of stack, it is based on a LIFO method. A useful feature that is included in the CPU of most computer is stack or LIFO list. Stack is a storage device that stores the information in such a manner that the item stored last is the first item retrieved. As I have told you that stack provides you the facility to store your data in such a way that when you insert your item, it will be added at a last or top. Similarly, when you want to retrieve your data, the first item is retrieved at that time. So it is known as LIFO method. The operation of stack can be compared to the stack of trays. Consider the example when there is a 20 plates which has been kept on each other, right? So when you want to take one plate, naturally you can take it from the top only. Otherwise you are not able to manage the number of plates properly. So you can compare the operation of stack with the stack of tray. Tray is nothing but it is a plate. The last tray placed on the top of the stack is the first to be taken off. So always remember one thing, that stack follows LIFO method. LIFO is nothing but last in first out. That means any item you have added at last will be taken out the first. Stack pointer. The stack pointer is nothing but it is a pointer which points to the item of stack, and stack pointer is always at the top of the stack. So the register that holds the address for the stack is called stack pointer. So stack pointer is a kind of register in which the address of stack has been stored. Why? Because its value always points at the top of the item in the stack. See, there are 2 operations which you can perform with the stack, either push or pop. So when you insert any item into the stack, that insertion thing is known as push operation. And push operation can be performed using incrementing stack pointer. Similarly, pop is a process using which you can delete the item of stack. And item of stack has been deleted by decrementing stack pointer. Let me repeat this point once again, that there are two operations which you can perform in the stack, either insert or deletion of item. So when you insert any item onto the stack, such kind of process is known as push, and it can be applied using incrementing stack pointer. Similarly, when you delete any item from the stack, it is known as pop operation, and it can be performed using decrementing stack pointer. Let me read out this particular slide. Stack pointer means the register that holds the address for the stack is called a stack pointer SP, because its value always point at the top item in the stack. Operations. The two operations of stack are insertion and deletion of items, which are given below. Push means the process of inserting an item into the stack is known as push and is done by incrementing stack pointer. The second operation is pop. The process for deleting an item from the stack is known as pop, and it's done by decrementing stack pointer. Applications of stack. Stack can be used with many applications or in many fields, but there are two basic applications in which stack is used. Number one, when you call any function recursively. Recursion means when you call your function by itself only, right? So that is known as recursive function call. The next is called to evaluate the arithmetic expression. So arithmetic expression means A plus B into C, say for examples, right? So to evaluate such kind of arithmetic operation, you can use the concept of stack. So basically stack is used with two types of applications: when you want to call recursive function or when you want to deal with the recursive function. At that time you can use the concept of stack, or at the time of evaluation of arithmetic expression, stack can be used. There are two types of stack. Number one, register stack. Number two, memory stack. Now register stack means what? A stack which can be placed in a portion of large memory, or it can be organized as a collection of a finite number of memory words or registers. Now see, let me clear this particular point, that stack which contains a large memory area in which your items are there in the organized manner. Organized means, see, stack itself is in the form of organization only, right? And it is a collection of finite number. Finite number means you have a fixed number, that this particular stack is of 10 numbers or 10 addresses, right? So register stack is a large provides you a large memory in which your data is there in an organized manner, or it is a collection of finite number of memory words or registers. The second one is called memory stack, which can exist as a standalone unit and can be implemented in RAM attached to the CPU. So when there is a requirement to work as a standalone unit which can be implemented in RAM, which can be attached with the CPU, at that time you can use memory stack. The implementation of a stack in CPU is done by assigning a portion of memory to a stack operation and using a processor register as a stack pointer. So see, there is a difference between register stack and memory stack. Register stack is nothing but it is a large memory which is in the organized manner, which contains a collection of finite number of memory or registers. Whereas memory stack works as a standalone unit and can be implemented in RAM. And RAM is attached to the CPU. So you can use either of the option or these two types of stack to develop your application. RPN, sometimes during the exam the question may ask that RPN stands for, or what is the full form of RPN. So RPN is nothing but it is a reverse polish notation. Now see, in the arithmetic operations, when you want to apply any notation, there are basic three types of notation. The first notation is infix notation, second is called prefix notation, and third is called postfix notation. From name only you are able to get that infix means it is in between, prefix means the operator will be before, and post means after, right? So there are three types of notation which can be used to represent arithmetic operation: infix notation, prefix notation, and postfix notation. And it is known as RPN. RPN means reverse polish notation. Now let me read out the points which are listed in this particular slide. A stack organization is very effective for evaluating arithmetic expressions. Evaluation of arithmetic expressions using computer is difficult and tedious task because expressions uses parentheses and brackets. To represent the arithmetic expression, following three types of different notations are used. See, let me move towards previous slide. In the application only, the application, one of the application of stack is to evaluate the arithmetic expression. So reverse polish notation is what? A stack organization is very effective for evaluation of arithmetic expression, but it is very tedious task for computers. Why? Because when you deal with the parentheses and brackets, it is difficult to evaluate such kind of expressions for the computers. So to represent such kind of expression, there are three ways using which you can evaluate. The first notation is known as infix notation, which means the common arithmetic expressions are written in infix notation with each operator written between the operands. A and B are known as operands and multiplication behaves as a operator. So I have written multiplication in between two operands. The second notation is known as prefix notation. Pre means before. So in this representation, often referred as a polish notation, places the operator before operands. So which can be marked with multiplication A, B. And postfix notation. which is referred as reverse Polish notation. So PN means Polish notation and RPN means reverse Polish notation. PN means prefix notation, postfix notation means RPN, which can be referred as AB and then into. So in this particular case, you can see that the operators are after two operands, right? So reverse Polish notation means what? In the stack organization, when you want to evaluate arithmetic operations, it is difficult for computer to perform such kind of expression using brackets or parentheses. So to represent arithmetic operation, we have three types of notation which can be used: infix, prefix and postfix. Prefix is also known as Polish notation and postfix is referred as a reverse Polish notation. The next and last question is, what is interrupt? Explain types of interrupt. Now see, sometimes what happens when you execute your program, at that time your program is terminated incorrectly, right? So that abnormal termination of your program is known as interrupt, right? So the concept of program interrupt is used to handle a variety of problems that arise out of normal program sequence. See, if interrupt is not there, at that time your program runs smoothly and you will get output properly. But any program which contains any problem will not generate proper output, and the transfer of your program controls from the currently running program to another service program. Sometimes it may be possible that you execute your program and instead of your computer screen, some other program is started or some action is performed at that time, or abnormally execution of your program is there. So at that time, such kind of problem is known as interrupt. The program interrupt refers to the transfer of program control from a currently running program to another service program as a result of an internal or external generated request. Now there are three types of interrupt which may occur during the execution of program. The first interrupt is internal interrupt. The second interrupt is external interrupt, and the third interrupt is software interrupt. Now see, let us discuss the first type of interrupt over here, that is internal interrupt. Now when the internal interrupt is generated, so whenever any illegal or erroneous use of instruction or data is given, say for example, when you are trying to divide any number by 0, so that is the general rule of mathematics, that you cannot divide any number by 0. So at that time error will be generated or interrupt may occur, and that type of error is known as internal error, because you perform illegal operation, illegal task, which is not possible. Sometimes it is possible that you are trying to store some data more than the capacity of register. So in such case, register overflow interrupt may occur. Same thing with the stack. The capacity of stack is about 10 elements, right? And you are trying to store the 15 element inside stack. So it is not possible. So at that time stack overflow error may occur. So what is the meaning of internal interrupt? It arises from illegal or erroneous use of instruction or data. The example of internal interrupts are register overflow, attempt to divide by 0, an invalid operation code, and stack overflow. These all are the example of internal interrupts. The second type of interrupt is external interrupt. The external interrupt comes from external devices such as input and output device when data needs to be transferred. So when you are trying to transfer your data using either input or output device, at that time some external device is responsible to generate external interrupt. The examples of external interrupt are I/O device requesting transfer of data, I/O device finished the transfer of data, elapsed time of an event, and power failure. Sometimes you are trying to transfer your data, but electricity goes out or power failure occurs. So that type of interrupt is known as external error. Similarly, sometimes it may be possible that you are trying to copy your data, but the time it takes or consumes too much time, right? So request timeout error occurs. So these all are the part of external interrupts. The third type is called software interrupt. Generally, it is initiated by executing an instructions when you deal with any software, and at that time some error occurs. So that type of error is known as software interrupt. It can be used by a programmer to initiate an interrupt procedure at any desired point in the program. Software interrupt take place when an application program called a supervisor program such as operating system. So when any application program trying to communicate or trying to supervise the programs which is related with the operating system, at that time software interrupt may occur. So these are the different types of interrupt which may occur during the execution of your application. The first interrupt is internal interrupt, second interrupt is called external interrupt, and the third interrupt is called software interrupt. Over here we have completed unit number 4. Before completing this session, we still have some time, so I am going to discuss today's topic once again. In this particular session, we have started with the theoretical portion of stack organization. Stack follows LIFO method. LIFO means last in, first out. The things which are added at last will be retrieved first, and stack works on that method. You can compare stack with the stack of trays. The tray which is placed at last will be taken first. Stack pointer is nothing but it shows the location of your stack, and generally the stack pointer is located at the top item of the stack. There are two operations which can be performed using stack: push and pop. Push means when you are trying to insert item in the stack, it is referred as a push operation, and it can be performed using incrementing stack pointer. When you want to delete item from the stack, at that time you can use pop operation of stack, which can be performed using decrementing stack pointer. There are lots of applications in which stack is used, but here is the basic applications in which stack can be implemented. Number one, when you use the concept of recursive function. Recursive function means function calls by itself, right? At that time you can use the concept of stack. Similarly, when you want to evaluate arithmetic expression, in such cases you can use the concept of stack. There are two types of stack: register stack and memory stack. Register stack is nothing but it provides you the large memory in which you can store your data in the organized manner, or it is a collection of finite number of memory registers. Memory stack is what? It is a standalone unit which can be implemented in RAM attached with the CPU. So you can choose any stack based on your requirement. We have discussed reverse Polish notation. In this, the first point is stack can be implemented using arithmetic expression, but it is most difficult task for the computer to evaluate arithmetic expression if it contains parentheses or brackets. So to represent the arithmetic operation, we have three notations: infix notation, prefix notation and postfix notation. Infix means operators are in between two operands. Prefix means operators are before operands, and postfix means operators are after operands. Now prefix can also be referred as Polish notation, that means PN. Similarly, postfix can be referred as RPN. RPN means reverse Polish notation. So this is all about the question stack organization. The second example is what? Second question is what? What is interrupt? And explain different types of interrupt. So interrupt is nothing but when you execute your program, it is out of normal program sequence. At that time interrupt is generated. Three types of interrupt we have discussed: internal interrupt, external interrupt and software interrupt. Generally, internal interrupt occurs when you are trying to apply illegal operations like number cannot be divided by 0, register or stack overflow error is there. At that time internal interrupt is generated. External interrupt is generated when you deal with the input output device and you are trying to transfer the data. During that time, the IO device requesting transfer of data, IO device finish transfer of data, elapsed time of an event and power failure, these all are the examples of external interrupt. The last interrupt is known as software interrupt, in which generally occurs during the application program communicates with the operating system. At that time software interrupt occurs. So these three are the types of interrupt: internal interrupt, external interrupt, and software interrupt. So in this session, we have discussed two questions: stack organization and different types of interrupt. Over here, we have completed unit number 4, and in our next lecture, we will continue with the unit number 5, which is based on the input-output organization. I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you all.